Is Ghost of Tsushima 2 already in development? Well, it looks like Sucker Punch might be prepping up the sequel for what I think is one of, if not the best game of 2020 thus far. We'll have some fun talking about that. Godfall developer talked a little bit about playing with the DualSense PlayStation 5 controller, saying it's incredible. PlayStation 5 social features are so much better. And Miles Morales' Spider-Man, we have a little bit of an update. The Crimson Cowl suit has been revealed. Marvel Spider-Man on PS4 to get 3 free suits as well. We'll talk that at the end of this video, but if you guys have been watching the content we upload to this channel, you probably have heard me gush about Ghost of Tsushima. I literally think it's one of, if not the best games of the year. I probably, at this point, gun to my head, I would say it's #1, and that's coming from somebody that is a Final Fantasy VII nut hugger. Like, I love Final Fantasy VII, I love the characters, I loved it back in the day, I loved the remake, adored it, but from a fundamental mechanical presentation standpoint, Ghost of Tsushima is just at such an elite level, and I know it's Tsushima with the T kind of silent, but you guys get the idea. The game is tremendous, and if you haven't picked it up, let me just say, you gotta pick it up. There's an update, it's going to 60 FPS on PS5, so the gameplay is going to get exponentially better, and Ghost of Tsushima 2 might already be in the works, as developer Sucker Punch Productions is looking for a narrative writer to write stories set in feudal Japan. On its website, Ghost of Tsushima developer Sucker Punch writes that it's hiring a narrative writer with a desire to write stories set in feudal Japan. In addition, the job listing mentions that knowledge of feudal Japanese history is a plus when applying for the job. Based on this job offer, it's looking like we might get another Ghost of Tsushima, or it could be DLC for the game. And again, the game also just had a free update, like the update that they could have easily charged money for, but it is a free update. The game is just tremendous. It's one of those games that after I paid $60 for it and after I beat it, I was like, damn, that game was easily worth $60. I would have been happy paying the upcoming price change of $70 for that game. That's how high level of a title I thought Ghost of Tsushima was, and unfortunately, keep going back to it, man. That 83 on Metacritic really, like, just disappoints me a little bit because, dude, I read some of the reviews about Jin being a bland character, which I just think is something so illogical to say. If you think Jin is a bland character, yes, maybe for the first hour or two, and I need to reiterate this point over and over again because some of these games getting 90s and Ghost of Tsushima stuck at an 83. And we could even talk about PlayStation exclusives. This isn't a PlayStation thing, it's just games across the board that, you know, some of them are rated so highly, but probably shouldn't get so worked up over some Metacritic ratings, you know, it's just subjective opinions. But the whole Jin being a bland character is just so stupid, and let me reiterate, the reason for that is that was the point of the story. That was a core theme of the story. It was the development of Jin in his bland samurai lifestyle, the code of honor and all that stuff, and how he develops into this ruthless character by the end of the game. Let's not go back into spoilers even more, but yeah, I thought Jin's character arc and narrative arc in that game was so well done, and there's just some scenes in the game you're just like, holy hell, who has Jin become? And if you already beat the game, you probably know some of the scenes I'm talking about, but it's so crazy how they do the character development of Jin in that game. I just thought Jin Sakai was a phenomenally developed character, and now you have this character that has so much depth to him. Why stop the franchise at this point? Look, I'm as big of a fan as Infamous and Sly Cooper as everyone else, but Jin is really getting going now. By the end of the game, you have established Jin with depth to his character. He went from this relatively bland character from the start of the game to this character with so much depth, so much emotion, and now let's actually let the chains off. Let's have an entire game with this newly formed Jin, and let's see where we can go from here, because I think the potential for a sequel is just through the roof. Yes, I want to see Infamous, another title, as much as everyone else. I'd love to see an Infamous 1 remake. I'd love to see all of that. But this is just a product of Sony having a lot of incredible IPs under their belt, and, you know, there's only so many studios. I don't know if they can acquire another studio. I don't know if they can increase the size of Sucker Punch where they can alternate development of multiple games, because could you imagine in a timeline where Sucker Punch was alternating through consistent releases of an Infamous and Ghost of Tsushima games, or Sly Cooper and Ghost of Tsushima games, or something like that? That would be absolutely incredible if we got, you know, the rotation of IPs like that. And, you know, maybe Sony can do it at this point if Sucker Punch does have to commit to one franchise to work on for the foreseeable future. Dude, Ghost of Tsushima's got a lot of potential going forward, and that potential and foundation has already been set out, so I think you do have to see it through. Alright, moving on from that, and enough of my Ghost of Tsushima nut-hugging, Godfall developer playing with DualSense controller is incredible. PlayStation 5 social features are so much better. Now, Godfall is a game that I've sensed that a lot of the community isn't completely sold on. It's one of those games that has a little bit more of a controversial reception. However, I think the game looks good, and I think on the basis that it is one of the highlight PlayStation 5 titles, launch games, and with it actually being a next-gen exclusive also on PC, I think that is inherently going to give it some attention. And it was noted in an interview with the PlayStation Official Magazine UK, Counterplay CEO and co-founder Keith Lee talked about the pleasure of having implemented the PS5's controller features in an action-oriented title, noting playing with the DualSense now, it's incredible. You can actually almost in a way imagine that you can sculpt and shape the vibration and the sensations, being able to create a game or a world where it feels completely dynamic and living, and that it is reacting to you. The way that we've designed it, there's the moment where the swords feel physical, that there's a resistance, there's a clash, and then your sword would bounce back and you feel it. It's all the hundreds of different subtles that we add that make you walk away saying, I felt like I was there, yeah, it wasn't just me looking at the rectangular screen. Now, I feel like that's kind of a talk that a lot of developers say about their game, like you actually feel like you're there, but I do think DualSense is going to give us an added feel of that just because of what they're implementing with DualSense haptic feedback, all that good stuff. So we'll see how Godfall turns out. Again, it's not that PlayStation 5 title that I think people are looking at it as the absolute system seller, but I do think it'll be like one of those games where, alright, you go in, maybe not this fall because PlayStation 5s are sold out, but whatever. You got your PlayStation 5 pre-order, wherever, maybe at GameStop, maybe wherever your local game store is, and you go in, you know you're picking up Demon's Souls Remake, you know you're picking up Spider-Man Miles Morales, I want to get one more game, let's check out what this Godfall game is about. I do think there's going to be a little bit of that to it, where it might be this secondary or tertiary purchase that people make alongside their PlayStation 5, and I do think they'll have some interest just based on that factor alone, and for them, let's see if they can capitalize on that and deliver something that is of quality. I know Counterplay wants to deliver something of quality, since first impressions are always so important, and we'll see how this one turns out PlayStation 5 launch day. Lastly, do want to talk a little bit about Spider-Man Miles Morales. We do have the note of a Crimson Cowl suit that has been revealed, and Marvel Spider-Man also on PS4 to get 3 free suits. Kind of crazy that they're still supporting this game. Of course, they are releasing the definitive edition of the Spider-Man PlayStation 4 version on PS5. And today, Insomniac has revealed a brand new suit, Crimson Cowl Spider-Man. This suit will be available in the Miles Morales expansion. However, it is not a pre-order bonus, as confirmed by the community director James Stevenson. And yeah, the suit looks pretty slick, have to say. Really getting more and more excited for this game. Like, you know, first when I heard that it was going to be a standalone expansion, that kind of depleted my interest, but then I started thinking, dude, Marvel Spider-Man was awesome. If it's a standalone expansion, it's probably going to be awesome, so is that really a bad thing? It's going to be a budget title, or a little bit of a budget title, $50 versus, you know, $60. $70 for the definitive edition with the original. Don't think that's a bad thing at all, and I do think the game is going to be quite good. It's Insomniac at the end of the day. You know, they, more often than not, are going to deliver you a very, very high-quality product. But that's going to conclude this video. Let us know your thoughts on the potential of Ghost of Tsushima 2. Godfall developer pretty high on the game's DualSense compatibility, and Miles Morales gets another new suit that'll be out launch day as well, of course. That's going to wrap up this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.